What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Doing okay. I realized it when I just did it. Yeah, I realized when I drum tap that it goes through the microphone mount, so bad things. So I won't do that anymore, and of course I just did it. I gotta work on the mount itself so that it's not in contact with the desk. That way, when we touch things, bad things don't happen. So, anywho. All right, what are we doing? Well, we are waiting for this to catch up, switching over. We have fully made the move to our base here. So we are now located just off the eastern shield wall in Misa Taril, close to the Udam. So far, loving this location. Can get in here and tell the Maas Kharet how much I love them. And same thing with the Udam, so we're always having fun there. I've got quite a bit of stuff still to do in some of these areas, so we're going to get this stuff cleared off eventually. Let me take this out because I can heal myself, which is distracting. But, yep, so, and if we need aluminum, we just zoop up here. I had been doing the deep desert, which is honestly way better, but moving everything over, I've actually kind of realized that, man, we did good. We did real good. We don't need all those materials anymore. Things just a little bit crazy. So we decided that we're going to go ahead and put this secondary spice refinery, the medium, out here. I just didn't like it in this area. There just wasn't enough space, and I thought maybe I could move this, but then I'd have to move the stairs. They'd be off center. Just annoying. So you know what? I can live with it being outside. We'll make this area look all nice and pretty and special. Got some boxes. Over here's where we got our eventually we're going to put some mice in there, and we've got all of our spice residue here. Excuse me. I'd like to say we got all of it, but we don't. I mean, I still got stuff everywhere, guys. Holy cow. We ended up moving, like, we put this big box here and just filled it up with junk. Hey, buddy. What's up? Just gonna bust on in here, huh? Change the lighting effect. That's fine. Here's our mice. You know what? Let's go ahead and clear out some of the space. Doot, 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 doot. Not sure where our money went. I know I have more money than that. I think I know where it went, actually. This is what I've been doing. Not actually getting to play the game. It's just trying to sort things out and figure out where I put. The mice don't have to go here, but I like it, so that's what it is. We got our spice box and our melange and our spice sandbox. We've got quite a bit, 1,100, almost 12. It's not bad. Not bad for a little solo guy. And over here, which is the spice sand, we're doing okay. We need a bunch, but I've been kind of, speak of it, I've been kind of neglecting the spice collection as of late, between base moving and going out in the deep desert and just doing the materials. So we've kind of been neglecting that a little bit. Let's close this door now. You're still in here? Hold on a second, guys. I'm going to be right back here while I get the door closed so the family can be the family. Okay, we're back. Yay. I mean, good Lord, what did we... 7 minutes in, we already hit the be right back button. But Mrs. Rabbit just got home, so that's awesome. And your family should always come first. My family's incredibly understanding about things, and one of the reasons they are is because I'll do that. We'll stop just as we get started because you're supposed to. So always consider your family there first. Or video games. Anywho, yeah, dude, these back to what I was talking about. Just looking at them, like I had so many boxes full of just junk, just a load of junk, and we still haven't finished everything. We've got some skills that we're just going to throw off for no reason. Got my weapons unit here. This is where the parts for weapon boxes and stuff is going to go. I got to put a couple more in here. We're still fighting with the, you already have the maximum amount of storage boxes as you can have, so we got to figure that out. Up here we got our survival fabricators with a box. We'll, excuse me, decor this out, change the walls behind a little bit just to make it its own room. But things that I'm still missing, the garment fabricators, don't have those up yet. I'll tell you what, we'll just do this. So, a couple things. I really want to make one of these. They are expensive. Let's get to a point where you can actually see it. There you go. We'll go down here in the bottom. There we are. This is a spice power generator. And the reason I want to make one is because I haven't made one ever. So, you know, I'd like to be able to say, hey, at least I made everything. I have a couple of the spice filters, which is what it takes to make these things run. And you look at that 1,000 power coming off this thing. It's pretty awesome. So I'll probably make one and just let it run until the materials I've already made are gone. And then, you know, away we go. Power-wise, the base is running pretty good now. I can't have everything on at the same time, which I never do anyway. So we'll get there. But I got to make one of those. I don't think I'm going to use any of these wind-powered termites. I might do it just because I have so many materials from the old base, because otherwise what I'm going to use the low-grade lubricant for. So I might build some of these, wait and, you know, just pop them up, use the extra power, and wait for those materials to run out so they don't go to waste. I guess I could sell them if I really wanted to. But yeah, we're pretty much running strictly off of the omnidirectional wind turns. Takes a little bit of melange to make them, but they work really, really well. Excuse me. We have a repair station, and we put that recycling thing all up there by itself because we can't be trusted around that thing. So, do not have any of these wind traps. Made these guys, didn't really like them. You have to put filters in them way too often, and what you're getting from them, it's better, in my opinion, to just go with the big guys here, the large wind traps. So we still are running off of 2 of those, but we really haven't done much production-wise. So we've just been letting it build up. I don't even know how much water I have. Should be at 1 million. We should have maxed out. Let's check. It's a water cistern right here. It's been an allergy day. It's like raining outside right now. Boom, look at that. We got 1 million water. Gonna need to hit the inhaler here. Good Lord. So yeah, we're primed and ready to make stuff. I think I may push this a little bit higher. I don't know yet. We're gonna see. But yeah, tons of water. Back to things. So that's it for utilities. Let's take a look at the fabricators. So I don't have one of these yet. I guess I might want to build one, maybe just stick it out of the way. Didn't use it very often. The garment fabricators I have to make. I've made these 2. I made the weapons ones. I need to make a vehicle one. I have the main one here, but I definitely need to get... Oh. Sorry. Dumbin'. But I do have the large, as you can see over there. So I think what we'll do is we'll build one of these and probably put it right... We'll build one of these and put it right here, but we got to get things sorted out and get the boxes out of the way when we do that. So, but then we'll have all our fabricators. We'll get back to that in just a second. The blood purifiers. I don't think I'm going to make any. I definitely won't make the regular one. If I do, it'll be in the improved one. And I'll maybe find a spot to stick one of those just to have it. But I really don't do blood anymore. Now that I can make death stills and with the wind traps and everything, I usually have plenty of water. For the ores, I do not have anything except the large. And I think we're going to stay that way. Like I said before, since you can jump the queue positioning, it's not as important to have the lower units as it is to have the bigger ones. Same thing goes for the chemical factory, the chemical refinery. I have a large one upstairs, and that's the only thing I'm going to run it on. It just takes a little bit of management and making things ahead of time, and you'll be okay with it. If you want to have both, go ahead. It's up to you. Don't care. But it is power that's going to be used that may not be necessary. And the medium can do everything that the small can do. So, my choice. I don't have a small spice refinery. I do have, like I showed before, the medium and the large, of course. And then, as far as storage boxes and stuff goes, I don't know if I have any of these. If I do, it's a mistake. I have a couple of these still left. This is just for small things that, I collect together. Most of the base is used with this. You can see I still haven't reached the limit for it. Mainly because I can fit so many more of these in the same amount of space as I can this guy. I went over that in a previous stream. We're looking at like 3,500 volume here versus 18,000 volume by doing a bunch of these guys. So, and I use the small water cisterns like you saw over there, just as an access point. I've said this before, we're apparently plumbers, so once we put in a cistern, we pipe it to the whole base. I don't know where it goes, but yeah, any water you have, most of my water is down in the basement there. And I used mostly the medium cisterns just because I had the space available. The big key for this was the industrial pumps. As you can see here, it takes 25. I have 125. The reason I have 125 is because I used to have these big guys at the old base and I tore them down. This isn't the same as storage boxes. Storage boxes are so much easier to make. I mean, yeah, you need 4 spice melange, which isn't bad, 14 silicone and plastanium, whereas this is just aluminum and silicone. But for these guys, those industrial pumps are hard to come by. You can buy them from Zoe up there in the crossroads, or you can find them in certain areas. Crash ships will have them, things like that. You can find them in the deep desert. But industrial pumps also go into some other materials, I believe, as far as like ornithopters go and stuff like that. So if I can do 1 million with all mediums and just the small cisterns as access points, for me it worked. So there you go. But yeah, our main issue right now is just boxes sitting around with who knows what in it and having to sort things out and figure out where they go. But our first event for today is going to be, as I said, we're going to go pay our taxes. Shoop. So we got this room here that I haven't completely finished out yet, and one of these boxes has money. There it is. Now I've already got 13 on me, so we'll go ahead and bring this over. And let's go ahead and bring another 50, because a lot of this is going to go away with taxes, and then let's see if we can spend our money on something. Solaria is something that's, you can get a pretty steady stream, especially now that they made those new people that you find around, like the pilgrims or the shield wall ghoul and all that. Now that we have these small little just go kill one dude kind of contracts that you can farm every day, gives you a pretty steady source of income. The other way to do it is to go around and get materials and make things that you could sell. The radiation suits are still a huge money maker in that aspect. I've never had much luck on the shouldn't tap, don't tap, dude. Haven't had much luck on the auction house or the open market thing with players. It's usually people asking way too much for everything. I can't afford to be buying tons of things like that. I mean, I guess if I went on a Solari craze, yeah. But so trying to yawn, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to yawn. We got to go pay some taxes. Now, normally I would grab the Mark 6 just because it's faster and more fun. But once we're done with that, we're going to do some spicing. So I tend not to risk this or this one. That's what these guys are for because they're the duraluminum tier. Much easier and cheaper to replace than the plastanium. I have enough. I have all the plastanium I could ever want. But one of the reasons why I have so much is because I'm not wasteful with it. So we're going to hop in here. Go ahead and make it our respawn point. We've got a bunch of money. Don't really need anything else. So we are off to Arakeen. Now, I can get to the map going this way. Just head straight north, but this is some height terrain. It's still the quickest way to do it, but, you know, is what it is. So we'll go buzz some sandflies as we're heading on our way out. Another issue. Thought I heard a vehicle shutting down. Oh, that was these people. Okay, I'm sorry. That was the sound of the flare. I guess I need to up my frame rate because I did notice on some of the streams the ornithopter wings look terrible when the frame rate drops. What's up, fellas? There's a cat. Problem with this area is you are continuously going up, so you do get to a point where you're not that far off the ground, but you're quickly approaching that 700 meters above the ground. I don't like to exit these areas under glide because then you smash into it and fall. So I will usually start up, hit the blue wall, go to our world map. Oh, I hear my dog outside raising hell. He's been getting bad. He's been a bad boy lately. He's jumping the fence and stretching the premise, exploring the neighborhood when he's not supposed to. He knows he's not supposed to. And he barks late at night to get us in trouble. I've never been brave enough to see what happens if you just keep flying around in circles and you run out of water or fuel here. I mean, it would stand to reason that you'd lose everything. It's one of the reasons why I'm not doing it. Here I come. Arakeen. Oh, I think when I spelled Arakeen in the description, I forgot an extra R. Have to go through there. I don't know if it's the new update or what, but I have definitely noticed a lot more load time coming off the world map. See what I mean? UA, Vito thought. He sabotaged the house generators. We're wide open. Here we go. Yay, fun. Let us go pay our taxes. Oh, stuttery guys. Hi.
You again? What now?
Has he always been dressed like this? Okay, so, I have 4 days left. I have a bunch of money in the bank, so I guess I didn't have to bring it, but, it was 14,000 from the old base. I don't know why this one's so low. I believe I paid this right at the beginning, and then when I built the new one, the new base, it's a little different and a little more costly, and it's basically when I had both, I was owed a ton, and then destroying my original base dropped it back down. So technically, we're only at 11,000, but it was like in 14s and stuff like that. I guess you pay an invoice, you can pay one, or yeah, we'll just go ahead and pay the total on both of them. No taxes due. So now Duke Leto or the Emperor can piss off. There you go. You got your money. Leave me the hell alone. There's a house rep. This is part of sorry, sir. It's part of a Landsrad thing.
Yes, yes. It is I, Heldebord Desio.
House Verota.
Let the rejoicing commence.
Goodbye, snotty bitch. Yep, so we're done. What's over here? Nothing, just dudes walk away. Okay. I mean, who am I to judge what a person gets paid to do, right? Hello, fellow player. You can always tell the other players because there's the other one sprinting through here. Everybody else just kind of walks. Oh, let's go. Now, I don't know if you've ever been here, but, that's interesting. A full slaver suit, huh? Wonder how many of these are people that did the free weekend and now rolled. It'd be interesting. Let's see. Somebody's selling a bunch of cobalt. Really? Cobalt paste. Silicone blocks. Aluminum, that's nice. What's spice running at? No one's selling spice on my servers. Wow. No one's selling plastonium. Guys selling the blocks. No steel. No duraluminum. Like copper, it's funny. I don't know who's gonna buy this. Copper's everywhere. Just grab some copper and within like 10 minutes you could have all the ingots you need. Maybe somebody who just doesn't want to go mining, so who am I to judge? But spice residue. Got so much of this I can't use it fast enough. Agave seeds, I believe, are a very good thing to collect and sell because you don't get many from each plant. You only get 5, and they're hard to come by. So if you come in here, you could sell these for a pretty good price. No one's selling them now, so. All right. Why would somebody sell corpses? I don't know. I mean, they got everything listed here, don't they? 625. I get it. You know, maybe you don't want to go out and do it, but this stuff's laying around on, it's just laying around on the map. You can get by almost 600 for nothing. Why would I spend $500,000? Let's see if there's any. I got a bunch of these, man. Regis triple shot. Oh. A lot of money, though. Wow, this guy wants $1 million where this guy's only asking for half. A Glasser for $15 million. What are you doing here, dude? This guy wants an extra 40,000. Oh, he's snotty. That's nice. Look at that. Underselling you. Wow. A lot for a rocket launcher, man. So I honestly haven't bought. I bought some things from here, not much. I've sold quite a few things. I don't tend to try to go ridiculous with my I try not to go ridiculous with my pricing. I more think people would come here if they could need something. It's kind of we still haven't recovered from the duping. People were able to store Solari or bring Solari here and then let themselves die of thirst, and because they were in a menu, it somehow duplicated something. I don't know. I don't care. But yeah, there's quite a few people that did this and really messed with the economy. So everything's uber expensive. I don't want to put anything on the market that I'm offering for a fair price because I figure people who won't or don't need it are going to snatch it up, and then they'll just turn around and sell it for 10 times the price. But got to find a way to actually meet up with people for things.
Would you like to deposit or withdraw Solaris?
So here, this is the bank guy, and I'm going to deposit some.
Would you like to
And I've got 79, almost 80,000. I'm going to put like another 40 or so in here. I got 102,000. I like this because that way, if things go crazy, if I lose stuff, something bad happens, whatever, I'll be able to make sure taxes don't become an issue. And also to have a little spare money sitting here to get it from. So we're going to put, right about there. That'll be fine. So we got another 40,000 here at the old banker guy. And then we're going to be heading back. So I got to be careful because having a whole bunch of Solari on me, I don't care about the rest of this stuff, but yeah, having a bunch of Solari on me and losing that would suck. Boop. Okay. Confirm. So we are going to make our way back to not the ruins of old Carthage. That's a bad place. We're gonna head back to Hagga. Now, we have this entrance which gets us to the monastery base, and then up here would be closer. Any one of these actually would be good for where we normally need to go. But we're hunting spice. So we're going to come in on this side and just take a run through the top areas. Wonder sometimes if this is like a person. Bye. I don't think it is. Oh, no, it can't be. 'Cause Just appeared again right away. I don't know why these guys like up and over and crazy stuff. I think maybe those dots with the lines might be real peoples. So this just might be a visual thing. And here we are. So we're going to come in this northeast. And we're going to move a flyby. This will be the first time, as we do a circuit, that I will be going past where the old base stood, so... Man. Hell am I? Alright, so... not where we wanted to come in. I would have preferred to have come in here. So in that situation, when that happens, what you can do is you can just... go back out to the world map, which won't be far. Told you. Although, like I said, maybe this isn't a great idea because it's taken so long. I'm such a whiny. Alright, so this is going to be like more of a Hagga Basin South thing. We're going to try... let's try here. And our goal is to come in open sand where spice blooms might be. That's pretty much some open sand, ain't it? Mission accomplished. It'll be good. So right now we're just going to get some height and see what we can see. As we get up in the air, get to about 700 and then we'll stop. Okay, so want to take a look at the software. I've got at least one fuel cell, plus I've got a little one here. So that's good. Let's go ahead and refuel right now. That'll be good. We'll leave it where it's at. Easy there. So what do we have as far as our gear? Well, I like to wear a still suit when I'm out here harvesting spice. There's normally not any bad guys around, so yeah, I'm wearing just the Chom still suit. The only substitution could be putting soft step boots here because it's less of a worm threat attractor. I'm using a compact compactor. If you watched my stream, you'll know I was big on the Landsrad when this thing showed up. I wanted to get one of these. The reason is because it has medium worm attraction, whereas like an industrial one has high. So gives us a little bit extra time. But yep, now all we got to do is fly around and find ourselves some spice. So we're going to basically level off. We're coming into some bad areas here that we don't want to go. Don't normally see spice over in this area, so we're going to head straight through the center. And we'll level it off. 170 is great. I don't want to lose too much altitude. And then we just do the free look. We look around. There's some right there. Alright, so on the approach, this is where we look for other people. We're in Hagga, so it's not a fight, but I don't want to step on anybody's toes. So if somebody's already kind of making their way downtown, if they're making their way over here to get a spice patch, it's fine. Things to consider is we know we got a PvP zone right over here, so we want to stay clear of that. We're not looking to fight right now. And I want to hit the map because this area is known for its patches of drum sand, which is going to make things totally different. So we don't see the spice field on the map yet. Let's get over. A worm traveling right under there, you son of a bitch. So it's really right in front of us. Is it going to be on drum sand? I didn't think we were going to right away do drum sand, but really surprised it hasn't keyed up. So let me show you how we do this. Drum sand is incredibly dangerous to harvest spice on because everything that happens is going to be amplified. So wearing soft step boots and being all quiet and lack of movement ain't going to matter. So you can tell this is drum sand because this is the red with the little dots. The red with lines is quicksand. So we are safe to stand on it, but bad things are going to occur. So what we're going to do here is normally I land, I'll throw some shots down, I'll pick up usually 2, and I'll pick those up. Then I do 2 more and I pick those up, and I'll get half the field gone before a worm. Sometimes I'll get the whole thing before a worm shows up. But on drum sand, that's not even going to remotely happen. This is where I do something a little more chaotic. I will fire off several shots in order to trigger the worm, get safe, come back, pick those up, and probably, oh, sorry about that, pick those up and get away. Now, the issue here, though, is it's very dangerous. Worms are going to come quick, especially if they spawn close. Bad things could occur. So our main focus here is not collecting spice. It's making sure that we can get off the ground and back in the air to safety as fast as possible. Unfortunately, our closest outcropping of rocks is going to be a BBB zone. So, we've got a lot of distance to go in any other direction. So we could go there. We could maybe go up here, but basically getting up in the air is going to be our best shot. So I'm going to approach this because it's on a slope. If we come at it this way, Thopter's going to slide. It's less likely to slide if we come in at this angle. I'm going to exit and immediately wait. If it starts sliding, I'm going to let it do it. And I'm not jumping off until it's done. Let the wings fold. That way I don't get caught and start glitching and rubber banding in it. And then we're going to proceed from there. Always want to make sure that I am close to the Thopter, and also I'm coming, when I try to get into it, I'm coming from the front. It's the much easier way. Once we get to a safer spot where I'm not playing with fire, I'll show you what I mean and why I choose the front. But let's get in here, and I'm basically going to break this field into half. There you can see it just turned red to show it's on drum sand. We're going to go right about in the middle. Now we jump out. All right. Pull out our compact compactor. And I'm just going to fire off some shots into this, and that should probably get the worm to come out pretty quick. That'll work. We grabbed one, get into the front, and we're gone. So you go up until the little arrow thing stops squiggling, but as you can see, he's coming straight at us. Never a good idea to be in line with the worm. We're going to hit F, and while we're doing that, we're going to bring this over. So we only got the one, but that's fine. So I'm going to land right here, and we're going to pick these 4 up and get right back in the Thopter. Again, come at it from an angle. Make sure she's done. No, don't do that, dude. I'm going to go ahead and get risky. We're going to pull that last one. Back in the Thopter we go. And now we'll go this way. So, a spice field usually has about 5 for me. I can get 580. So, we're at about 269. So, we're about a third. Makes sense. Looks about right. And we're going to wait. We'll let that completely go away. Now we're going to land again. Same concept. We're going to come in at the sloping angle. We're going to put her down right about in the same spot that we did the first time. Let those wings come in. Pull out our compactor again. And I'm just going to tag these. And we're going to switch for some reason. That's the new mouse, man. Now, in the event that you do decide to go over to the PvE or PvP section, you've got about 5 seconds. And there's gunfire going on. To get back out of there before the zone change takes effect. And now we're safe. I don't know if that's Sardaukar or bad guys. Alright. Let's land. Easy peasy, right? Now, what you don't want to do is forget to do this. Once you get into the air, make sure you bring any spice sand over. Because you don't want to... Easy there, guys. Oh, that would have been horrible. If the Sardaukar had... Ooh, man, this is extra dangerous. Because if that ship sees us out in the open sand like that, it's going to pause us. And I'm sure the worm's not going to care, and then the worm's going to come along and kill us while we're hovering in the air from these douchebags. So we'll make sure they're gone. It could have been bad. Now, it's going to take at least 2 more times. So we're going to land right here. Let me show you what happens if you don't, like if you try to, I see we're sliding a little bit. Came in a little too sharp an angle, but I'm going to let it go. All right, sweetie. So if we try to do the normal fire and then harvest immediately. Get one. And there we go. He's already coming. That is why I like to do the multiple firing and get out of the way type thing. Just because you're only going to get 2 and you're going to be jumping up and down, up and down, up and down. Just to avoid the worm since it's Drumsand. Other thing that I normally do, if you watch my content, you'll know that I like to make sure we get every damn bit. I will fire off a compactor into a tiny little spot of spice sand in order to make sure we get every single bit of it. But I don't play around on Drumsand. We're going to grab this. Now, like I said, we're going to come around here. Fire off our shots. We're going to go back up in the air. This is a pain in the ass. Don't get me wrong. It is a pain in the ass. But if you're not willing to go in the deep desert, this is something you're going to have to do. Keep an eye on Shai Halud. See which way he's going. Keep an eye on these 2 bastards. Alright, we're going to land right at about here. And I'm just going to start at the small one up, and we're out. Okay, we're going to go right away because apparently we upset him. That also means they're probably going to disappear. You've only got 30 seconds once you fire off. That really happened quick, man. Alright, we got a boogie. See that? Crazy ass stuff. That's why you don't do it. Alright, I've angered these guys enough. We're going to go ahead. Ooh, boy, he's a little close. There we go. Good enough for me, man. And our result, like I said, I get usually about like 580-ish, 576. There's still probably a couple little grains around the corners. Not today, little gray mouse. So we are off, and we are going to pick up our scan where we left off, and our first spice selection is there. Drumsand makes things worse. Man, we're low on fuel already. Mm-mm-mm. So kind of mixed feelings on nighttime spice harvesting because you don't have to worry about sunstroke and you don't have to worry about the heat and those issues, but you're trading that in for one, not being able to see quite as well, and number two, the Choam Sardaukar ships can cause you problems. As far as seeing very well, when you're up on a spice bloom, you'll find it pretty easy, but the distance ones can sometimes be a little difficult to see. There's not usually too many in this area, but they do show up. So and I don't normally like to get too close to the ground just because you're cutting off how far you can see. So once we get around 400, we'll the hell was that? Ah, look at that. Okay, so we're doing a little pattern run, and we haven't seen one right now, but we saw a bloom that's off in the distance. It's due west of us. You can look on your map, and basically it's going to probably be somewhere in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue on our path that we normally would do, and we'll eventually get to it. There's not a lot of people on the server now, so I'm not definitely going to be running towards a spice bloom. But in the event that your server has a higher population, you might need to think to yourself, hey, here's where I was. Let me go fly over straight away and go get that bloom. Let's do that. So we knew where it was. Looks like there's one here. I don't think that's the one that we saw. Might be. It's in the same direction, but don't know. Okay, now happiness and joy because we're leaving the Drumsand areas behind us, so it's all sorts of clear space. We should be able to get some good runs in here while we're up in the air. We definitely want to make sure that we moved all the spice from our previous run and make sure we're in good shape. Now, another thing to do is to, make sure that your power pack's in decent shape. Mine is not. And make sure that your tools are in good shape and that your water level is in good shape. So that way you can just focus on doing spice. That power pack is probably going to become an issue. I'm going to go in here and we're going to pull this last fuel cell over just because, like I said, for some reason, man, we really burned through. We'll be able to fill up completely and away we go. Now, come down here. Like I said, I think there's a spice bloom over there. That might be the one that we just saw blow. Because this just seemed a little too close. Same thing, nice flat current.
Weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
I'm trying to instruct and be helpful here. Where's the sandstorm coming from? I don't think we'll make it. Oh, we might. Should probably cut these engines, though. It's gonna be close, ain't it? We could land and just kind of weather this one out. But as you can see, we've already taken quite a bit of damage to our Thopter here. Safety.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm.
It was pretty close, man. While we're here, what we're going to do... by the way, this wreaks havoc on my system. Trying to do stuff during the sandstorm. Come on. While we're here, this will be a good time to fix this power pack. Now, I'm only using a Mark IV. I know I have better ones, but I don't know where they are right now. Still got plenty of power, so that's good. Made that mine. Okay. Let's just repair the power pack for right now. Everything else is in pretty good shape. Cut array doesn't matter. This, we might as well do it. It's a little expensive because it's a purple item, but hey, is what it is, right? While we're waiting, let's see if we can find another power pack. Gives it time for that storm to go away. Hopefully we can find all that stuff. The big box? The big box said no. Mark 1's not going to help us. What are you? Oh, that's another Mark 4. The Mark 5s and 6s give you a bigger power pool, and the regen comes back quicker. And that is very important in combat type situations where you want your shield to come back. But as far as mining goes, you know, it's pretty simple. I mean, you fire the thing once or twice or so. You're not really using power when you're out here getting spice and other things, when you're not using your cutter array so much. So for spice mining, a Mark IV power pack is going to be just fine. I'm not going to make use of them anyway, other than that, so, you know, use them somehow. It's actually a good idea to carry an extra power pack so that if you're out and about and you're in the midst of something and all of a sudden you get that little message that your power pack is broken. So this, I'm pretty sure, was the one that we saw fire off. This is just extra special benefits, so. And it looks like that is one that's forming. Tell you what, we're going to grab this one first in the hopes that while we're grabbing this one, that other one that we see over here will finish what it's doing. Hopefully the little makers will do their jobs. Okay, so we don't have any drum sand to worry about. That's awesome. Don't like that ridge right there. So I want to stay away from that. I'd really like to have level ground to land on and go. But, I mean, this will have to be good enough. Always let that thing finish. Pull this bad boy out. And I like to start in the back and on the outside edge. And like I said, I usually do 2. We'll let these guys collect. Uno. And dos. Right? Now we're just gonna... Told you. Now we're just gonna collect this as we go. We'll work on the outer edge. Now here we're getting a little wide, so we're going to actually fire off 2 shots, and that's going to kind of bring that a little closer and a little cleaner. And we should be getting worm sign real soon. Normally, like I said, I'll get half of a field before we start to attract attention. Looks like it's letting us go a little bit longer. This is the compact compactor. Let's not get too crazy here, fellas. Alright, same thing. We're going to go up in the air once we get high enough. Usually, general consensus is to get above 400, but if you get a glitchy sky halud worm up in the air, you know, craziness. So now we're going to land here towards the back end of the area we didn't finish. Doo-doo. Wings collapse. Put one here, and then we'll put one out here. Now, this isn't going to get much, but like I said, I like to try to be as thorough as possible. Don't know if we'll get all of this, but since I don't know, we're going to kind of play it right about here. That shot will definitely get all of the darker area, which will have more. Maybe we'll leave some of those outer fringes. And since we haven't gotten a worm yet, that is as far as you want to be from your Thopter, by the way. And that should be good enough. So we're going to run back because we're getting out of here. And we did leave a little bit in the corner there, but overall that's a pretty good spice run. Let's get up in the air, and we shall come here, and we ended up getting 581. Like I said, 580, 585 is normally the run. So, hooray. Now we're going to grab this one, and then we'll go up and get that one. It's a good time to check on your water. We'll go ahead and get that high up there. Now that the sun's coming out, we're going to start dehydrating while we do this. And I like to make sure that in moments like this where I'm, no danger here, I am making sure that I stay hydrated. Don't need fun stuff to happen in the sand. Wings fold, start in the back. Same thing that we just did. And this is again with the compact compactor, so it's much less worm aggro and a much bigger field. Stay over there, big guy. A much bigger draw pattern as well. We'll do some with the industrial, which is like the beginning one. That's why I'm carrying it. There is an Omni that's in between what we're using and what we were talking about there. That's got to summon one. Come on. Would have thought one would have come out of the ground. So we're not going to go any farther than this, because we're going to get crazy with, well, you know what, we can. We'll get kind of crazy with things being under. It didn't really matter anyway. Oh, there you go. You get about 450 or so. We had plenty of time. He's still acting goofy. And we'll put this one over here. The only reason I'm spreading them out is so that we could see the total amount that we got from each area. So we're going to switch over to the industrial. This is a very high worm aggro. So we'll see what the difference is, even though this is just a partial field. We're going to land over this way. Right there. It's good. Wings collapse, and now we'll grab this. But first, we got to get the pile we left. But, alright, so now this one, as you can see, not quite as big and much faster cycling, but I have to do it more, so it kind of balances out. But you can get 3 or 4 shots on these pretty easy without having any kind of aggro. And it's perfect to finish up this last little bit. I'm getting cocky. You can do this. I wouldn't advise it, especially if you're new to the game or not an experienced spice harvester. Now I don't care. So there's like this patch over here. I'm sure we're going to get a worm. Yeah, if we fire off to that, we might only get a little bit. In fact, we didn't get any there, so It was just a visual set of spice. Yeah, we still did great with time. Alright. Get up here. That takes the sunstroke away. We'll get to 400. And let's bring up our menu. 582. So we're doing better each time, which is great. We could do more. But yeah, so here, let's go get this one. And we're going to stay with the industrial so we can start a spice harvest right off the bat. Since we moved out of Shoal and now we're into the Vermilius Gap, the western side, we have to be aware that we've got the potential of Drumsand. That's where we were. So I don't think we're going to hit that. Yeah. Oh, I just hit the wrong button. Dumbass. I meant to go forward and ended up just long pressing E and we jumped out. And we paid for our mistake. Whoa, that could have been bad. Why did he come up so quick? Like I said, never be in line with him when he starts traveling. Because this is the kind of stuff that could cause him to pounce up out of the sand. So we're going to give him a wide berth. He came up, crested a little bit, didn't he? Okay, so is that Drumsand? Why did it key up so damn quick? No, it isn't. I guess he was still mad at us from before. Alright, so there are bad guys here, so we just have to be aware of them. Our exit plan will be up and to get over this area, since it's the closest. And here we go. Now you see before this wouldn't have been here, but since we're using the industrial instead of the compact, our little draw field is definitely not as big. Keep in mind, if this was Drumsand, this would make that so much worse. We were able to fire off several shots and run away, but using this industrial one, it's a much smaller field and a much smaller yield. Yeah. Seems to be leaving us alone pretty well, though. Of course, just as soon as I say that, he'll show up. So I'm not spanned out as wide. I know that the device I'm using doesn't have the ability to pull it so quickly. Alright, so he's coming, so let's just fire off a bunch. Since we know we've got a little bit of time. And then we'll come over here. And this is where we will get our 269. And you can see we only got about half of that field before we... Actually, probably only got about a third of that field. So we're not doing much better than a Drumsand rating. I'm going to come in right about here. That'll work. And we'll go get the stuff that we already had. Boop. Boop. And boop. And we go again. You can already see that it's taken quite a few more shots to get this stuff. Should be any time now. I'm not going to fire off the shots like I do. That also helps me out because now I'm not on a time crunch. Like I said, you got about 30 seconds to pick up a pile once you create it. So now I don't have to worry. I can play as much as I want. We can do our normal, which is to move you over. Let's take a look at where homie is. He don't even care about us. Just a little bit spice left. It's also a good time if you need to go to the water you carry. You should always carry water. You don't have to carry deciliters of it, but you should always carry at least a couple of the smaller ones. So now we're filled up with water. We got plenty of stamina and just a little bit of work left to do. We'll be a little more cavalier about our methods because this is our last time, so we'll be able to get damn near everything here. It's just a tiny little pile here after that, so that pretty much does it all. You can hit the F button to just quick transfer it. I don't want to do that because we're trying to see how much we get. So see here, now we went down. I don't think we're going to be able to find some areas. It looks like most of it's already collected, so we're kind of just wasting our tool here. Yep. Alright, so yeah, it's less, but it's only like 4 or 5 less. It's not that big of a deal. And now we'll let the heat stroke go away. We'll move on and we'll keep an eye out for any more blooms. But yeah, if I just hit the F button to quick transfer, I'll lose track of how many I'm getting for each one. Normally I wouldn't care. If we weren't talking about this, I would just be running up and hitting F and it would transfer automatically and away we go. But we're kind of wanting to see how much we get per spot. Alright, looks like that was it. We're going to do a quick run through the middle here. It's not a common place for spice, but it does show up sometimes. Our engine is not having a good time right now, is it? I think that's as red as I've ever seen anything that wasn't broken already. So let's address that. We're going to land and we're going to fix that right now because I have the opportunity to fix it. I don't want to get myself into a position where all of a sudden I'm on the ground, I get in, try to get back up in the air, and then it says, nope, sorry, your stuff's broken. That was just me not doing it, man. You see that? That was a perfect engine. I actually replaced all of this stuff just a bit ago, and yeah, just letting it go to see how long I could get out of it. Come on, come on. Always carry welding wire too. Definitely good. I think everything else was in great shape, so we don't have to really worry about that. But yep, okay, so we're going to take a little break from searching for spice because we want to make sure the Thopter is going to get us through the day. Running around with a deeply red engine, as you can see, there's only about 25% left, and it doesn't have to get to 0 to break. And now, look at that white stuff, or the nice yellow all the way across. 'Tis perfect. And we're back on the hunt. Yeah, we just flew over where our base used to be. And there's nothing there. Let's get some height while we're looking around. So we'll come out here and we're going to make a big loop, and then there's two last areas that we're going to kind of check. Now we know it's nighttime, so Sardaukar are an issue. Sometimes right over here to the bottom right, there'll be some spice blooms every now and then. I remember those from the days. Yep. There it was, folks. So this also gives you a good idea. Look what my base was built on. This whole thing here was encompassed inside my base. So that was what I had to build around. And, yeah, some difficulty. As you can see, like, you know, there were some spots where things were sticking through the walls and such. So it did make some issues, but, you know, there you go. So one of the last places, like I said, there's 2 places we're going to check, is going to be down here in Shoal. Not a lot of people do spice. It's just all weirdness. Okay. Not a lot of people do a lot of spicing down here because you could die from the radiation. We, however, always carry a Mark V suit. Could have a 6. 5 seems to do just well. It's 92% mitigation. I have iodine pills if I want to add an extra 3, but to be honest with you, I don't ever really spend enough time in those areas to justify going for the extra protection. So now that we have a radiation suit, I'm going to make a run straight for my Jasmine base, which is the monastery area. And we'll look down. Don't see anything. Right, we're up to speed. Let's level up. No. Appears though no man's... Okay, there's one right over there. That looks like it's outside of the radiation zone, though. And we're just kind of keeping an eye, you know, a glance down. With that radiation suit, shouldn't be an issue. I've seen people say that they kind of felt like the worms were a lot angrier down here in Shoal than they are anywhere else. I don't really think they were. Like, in my opinion, they seem to be just as angry here as they are anywhere else. That base looks like it's in good shape. Nothing bad happening. Power's still on, so that's a win. Alright, this is pretty cool. So we have here a down ship. And a down ship that doesn't have any fires on it. So that means it's prime to be getting eaten. But we got a spice bloom right here that we want to collect. So we got to be careful because there could be a worm that comes to eat that ship. And they usually spawn off in the distance. They do their natural breach thing, and then they go back down. And then you don't see them moving around, and then all of a sudden they come up out of the ground to eat that ship. And usually they're kind of far away from the ship, like we are now, which means this spice could potentially be a breach point. And homeboy could come right up underneath our feet with no warning, no anything, and we're not going to see any kind of worm signs because it doesn't need one. It's an immediate thing. In this case, it does look a little far, but we're still well within range. But I wouldn't blame you if you just took a spot and kind of waited for him to eat that ship. And once that ship is gone, then it's just a normal procedure. But we're going to risk it. We'll risk it for a biscuit, right? Now, I'm also still wearing my radiation suit, so that's kind of silliness, but we are close to the radiation zone. Like I said, I wouldn't blame you at all if you just pass this one. Don't, pass it up like, oh, nope, I'm not grabbing that one. Just give it some time. Because you never know where they're going to come up. And we don't want to be a statistic. I do feel it, a little nervous. Better safe than sorry. Where's he going? Alright, let's move this over, dude. And we're going to hit inventory, and I'm going to take off the, damn it. I'm going to take off the radiation suit, because we're not in the radiation area. So we should be safe for now. Better quit playing around, right? I got spice to grab. And of course there are things in like the planetologist skill tree, I believe it is, that makes you better at doing this. So you get an extra percentages from your each compactor shot and how much you can actually pull from a field. So if you build your character up in your skills to have all those active, it does prevent you from having a decent PvP build, but if you're not, who cares? I am aware that if I decide someday to start to brave the PvP arena, that I have to change my character, and functions like this will be less. Ran out of time there, so we had to jump in the back, even though I told you guys not to do that. Don't like it when they're coming at us. That's good enough for now, right? Don't think these guys are going to yield much. Is that one? One spice. I think that'll be enough. And if you want to move things and check stuff, never do it on the ground. Always make sure you're up in the air. At least 400, 450 is a little safer. Be as brave as you want to, but don't be a fool. And out of that one, we got 577. So you could see switching that tool down, we started to go less. This was the Drumsand one that we didn't hang out at. So a Drumsand one with the better tool that we're scared of was just 1 or 2 spice less than plenty of time in the world with a lower piece of equipment. So we're going to switch back so that I can get the most out of what I'm doing. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Plant test. So sandcrawler yield. I can get more from a sandcrawler. Don't have a sandcrawler, didn't care. Here's vehicle mining, vehicle repair, fuel efficient pilot skinning. Which one is it? Compaction. So you made minor adjustments to the way you use your compactor that improves the efficiency of its resource yield. So compactor yield is an extra 20%. So your skills can help you to get more bang for your buck. What is that? That's something weird. All right, so we're checking around. Don't seem to see anything. Not really seeing too many areas that are potentially blooming. So the only spice bloom that went off while we were doing this happened over there. We were well aware of it. We saw it. We kind of planned our route around it. There could be some spice. Oh, that guy's base is gone. You know what? Let's go check. This was a functioning base the other day. Nothing left but a buggy and a sand bike that are going to be dead. Let's see what kind it is. I don't think I can, right? Because you can't repair things that you don't own. So I got no access. And what can I see? Nothing. Alright, well, she's going to sit here and die. And so is this. I don't know why they... I guess they did it because... Okay, let me finish the sentence so you're actually participating in this conversation. I don't know why they made it so that you can't take ownership of a vehicle. Like, this thing's just laying here and dying. I don't really need another buggy, but hey, another buggy, why not? I don't need another sand bike, but hey, why not? But then the issue would be, like right now, my Thopter's just sitting over there. What would prevent somebody from coming over and taking it, you know? But this is strange. I guess he had a lot built on something here that collapsed the entire thing. Like I said, this was a functioning base the other day. Really surprised it's broken down the way it did. But yeah, they're just going to rot. Arrakis is not kind to people or equipment. You know what? We're going to use our friend's little territory here for a description. So the reason I said that when you're land and plan your little route for compacting to end up at the front of your Thopter is because it's very easy to get that queue to enter from anywhere inside the front. Because it's the cockpit, obviously, but there's very little in the way. When you come in from the side, it usually works pretty well. But for some reason, coming from the back, sometimes you got to get right up on there. It's almost like, you know, you got to get right up in there. So that's why I always prefer to come in from the front, because it's less glitchy and it's, personally, I feel like it's far more responsive. There's been times where, you know, you'll run up and that doesn't pop up right away and then you're freaking out. Or if you do, you know, are you able to jump in real quick? You camera view changes, etc. So that's why I always say plan your route so that when it's time to get out of Dodge, you could just run straight to that front cockpit, jump in and go. These different variants, the Atreides, Harkonnen, and well, that's the only ones. But those variants, they kind of change things a little bit. I found that access to this is a lot worse than it is in my Chom version of the standard, like my Mark 6, and even the standard Mark 5. It's a little less forgiving. It's kind of like when they put this stuff on here, I'm guessing there's like a center point that we have to interact with in order to get in the vehicle. But all this extra stuff that they put on there, those big cargo areas in the back and all that, they don't account for that. So you can't get to where you need to be before you're hitting the side of the Thopter. But I have yet to see any issue. Oh, it's one of them players. I have yet to see any issue with a coming in from the front, jumping into the cockpit. There can occasionally be spice in here. They kind of got rid of that with the patch update when they said that there was spice that they was, worm free and such. There used to be one that would spawn right here where we built our base. Don't think we'll see that anymore. But it looks like we have gotten everything that we can right now. So it is time to head back. Also, I'm out of fuel cells and I've only got that one left. Just that little bit left in there. So it's time to head back. Yes, I did look at those missing roof pieces and we're going to be doing it. Just not right now. Ooh, we slid in there. Alright, so let's get ourselves centered nicely on the landing pad. We built it. We're going to make use of it. And at this point now, we are going to look at how much we got. So we were able to find 5 fields, one that blew up in our face. The other ones were already still laying out there. So on a low population server, you're going to see these things laying around. If there's more people on your server, I think the most that I have on mine is 10. Could be 60. If there were 60 people flying around here, then obviously, there's going to be some competition. But since there isn't, I was able to just nice, easy, peasy, relax, go pick up what I needed. And nobody messed with me. Able to control the worm real easy. Showed you the different pieces of equipment. So there you go. And we got what? Let's put it all together. Shoop, boop, boop, boop. So we got 28.94. So we'll say 29. So 2,900 spice, which is pretty darn good. That's weird. They're not trying to transfer it. So we'll go down to our spice room. We went the wrong way. And we shall put this away. Boop and boop. So there you go. We are quite a bit on our way right now. An extra 3, we'll say 3. I mean, keep adding to it. That's 5,000. No, got about 3,000 spice from just flying around Hagga Basin. 5 things that we found. So what are we going to do now? Well, we are going to first head up the stairs again. And we're going to access our water point, and we're going to go ahead and drink until we are full. We've got a full still suit, and I'm going to manage. And we're going to go to water and fill our containers. So now I've made sure we have plenty of water. We are good. That's still going up. Yep. That's a good way to tell your roof's still running. Have I been smart enough yet to do this? No, I don't think so. Like to find some fuel cells before we go too crazy. I think I had some over here, or I may have sparsed them out. So Mark 5 power cells. Break them. Oh, you know what? It should be over here in this box. It was actually the closest box to us when we landed. Yeah, I don't have any fuel cells in these. Alright, so what we're going to do is we are going to thieve. Normally I would have fuel cells sitting there waiting for me. I don't currently. So we are going to come here. There should be some fuel cells in this. Well, at least one. And some stuff we still haven't gotten away from. So we got 1.5 fuel cells. Let's see what's in here, actually. Hey, we got one already, so that's cool. Alright, that'll work. Let's get rid of the dumb stuff that we're carrying here. Because we don't need this. I mean, it's 20 volume. That does have an effect on things. We don't need a staking unit or blood thing. Carry a thumper just for fun. Let's go ahead and leave our money behind too. Streamlined a little bit. We could leave this because we're not going to be going anywhere near radiation, but I don't want to get too crazy. Now we are going to make use of this thopter. Tell you what, let's get out. Before we do that, we're going to hit the wrong button. There we go. And let's get her repaired up. Oh, we almost got everything done from one position. Not much left on that, huh? Yep, all the wings are good. Perfect. Okay. I'm under 100 on welding wire, and that is no good. So we're going to go back over here to take off that gun. And we're going to take this welding wire, and we're going to switch it with this one. Then we'll take you and combine them. That's why I have this here. It's strictly for repairing everything up here in this upper hangar. I've got to put some downstairs too for the buggy and the bikes. Now, we're going to take our Mark 6. The reason is she's faster, she's snappier, and we're going to be heading into the deep desert. And in the event that we do come across angry people, we need to be able to maneuver and get away. I'm probably not going to take a trip out into the PvP section. We might. We'll see. In our Mark 6, we can pretty much outrun anything. With the changes to assault thrusters, they made them faster, but we should still be able to get away from anybody. So the deep desert is obviously the great lure of spice and wealth and wonders and large fields that you can draw from and come out with so much spice that you're rich. I hit the wall. I was blabbering and thinking. We just crashed on the ground. That I guess is true, but you need to take some things into consideration. If you're in a guild, have fun. Do whatever you want. Probably it will be pretty easy for a guild to put together the resources needed to get a carry-all and to get a sand crawler. And you can actually go to those large fields with some escorts that have rockets loaded up, and you could stake your claim and defend your equipment and your fellow guildsmen and have just a great time. If you're a solo player, you don't belong there. Do not go to large fields. I can't stress that enough. Have I gone to them? Yeah. Have I pulled spice out of them? Yeah. With other people who we could be fighting because it's in a PvP area? Yes, absolutely. Have I been killed on them? Yeah, twice. Once by a player and the other time by a worm. But the guilds and the larger groups, what's up, little Maudib, will be better equipped and will be farming them and also able to protect and defend those areas. So you're getting into a fight. Potentially, most likely. Add to that, and I don't hold it against guilds for doing that, because that's what the concept of the game is. That's why you build a carry-all. That's why you build the sand crawler to harvest from the large fields. You'll get 40,000 spice sand when you do it. It's amazing. So, like I said, I don't hold that against them. That's why they're playing the game. They're doing the end game stuff. And if you, we're gonna crash. If you don't like playing with people and you're not very social and you don't want to kind of do that, You need to say to yourself, okay, well, the large fields are not for me. Don't go to them. I'm not sure exactly where they are this week, so I can't actually go to one. Well, we'll fly around until we find one. But yeah, it makes sense. I wish that the game explained it a little better. If you have a sand crawler or take part in a group that's using a sand crawler, it's amazing how long that thing can run before it aggroes a worm. It just doesn't do it, which is kind of good because it's such a process to get it back up off the sand. But anyway, they don't explain that a sand crawler doesn't aggro the worm as much as a compactor does. So when you as a solo player go to a large field and start compacting, you're putting those people's equipment at risk. They aren't going to be able to fly up into the air as quickly as you will, and that's why they shoot at you or tell you to leave. And yeah, but you have to realize it makes sense that the large fields are for the large groups. Now, you can make a really good living off of medium fields, but I don't remember ever really seeing medium fields. I think once I did. Might have been a mistake. Medium fields going off in the safe zones. The deep desert's split in half. If you just start heading straight north, eventually you're going to get to a zone that is labeled PvP. So that means other players can attack you and hurt you. And sadly enough, even your own friends can shoot you. So if you get in the way, if you're in the blast area, bad things are going to happen. But medium fields normally don't show up in the PvE zone. They can. Large fields most likely aren't going to. They're high risk, high reward. But you can still farm quite a few small blasts in here, and you can occasionally find a medium that's close enough to the border if it is in PvE or if it's over in PvP to where you can safely go in here. The issue is it's so much safer, and as you saw, not so bad. Within about an hour, I got 3,000 spice. What I would do in Hagga then is I would go off and start doing something else. Do some missions, do some contracts, go kill some Maas Kharet and make them pay for the one time when they hurt me. And then give it time for more spice blooms to go off. Maybe if it's close, go grab it right away. Otherwise, before I go off for the night, like with the last half hour or so, just take a quick buzz through, get a couple more, call it a night. So I'm bringing in, 4 or 5K every night just by spending an hour in the beginning and a half hour at the end. But as you can see here in the deep desert, we're not far from the shield wall. We're probably about halfway between the border to PvE and PvE, and there's nothing happening. We haven't crossed any fields on the ground, and we haven't seen a bloom. And this is the way of the deep desert. It's not always predictable. You're not always going to get, bloom after bloom after bloom after bloom. Like, oh, look at it all. It's everywhere. It's kind of designed for us to fight over. And if you're not willing or not wanting to do that part of the game, there you go. We're going to head straight north and see if we can find anything. I used to go out pretty heavily into the PvP zone for Strabidium and D7's fine. For Strabidium and Titanium. And I would see some small blooms here and there. Not as many. Definitely not as many as we just pulled from Hagga. But again, like I said, it's a low pop server for me. So, yeah. Now, what you can do, you don't have to fly around all the time. There's somebody built a base there. They're out here doing things. You don't have to fly around all the time. There we go. There's a spice bloom. So let's go check that out. Out here in the deep desert, a small spice bloom is exactly the same as the ones in Hagga Basin. It blows up once, and you can see it from a big far distance, and then there you go. What'll happen with a medium spice bloom is kind of what you're seeing here in front of me. You see that great big explosion in the sky, and then it kind of goes away, and then it'll show up again all of a sudden. So it's a reoccurring thing. You'll get that spice bloom, the initial blast and shot up in the air, and then this will go on for quite a while. And then eventually this does stop, and it's just a giant field full of spice. Depending on how many people are out here, as you could see, it was really far. Okay, so we're going into PvP zone right now. As you could see, we're 3 or 4 kilometers away. We saw it. So did everybody else. Just get nighttime. It's creepy. So everybody else saw it too. Which means if there's people out here that want to take your equipment and blow your stuff up, where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's spice, there's harvesters. And if you want to kill them, this is where you go. What I'm going to do is we are going to stay high up in the air. And we're going to do a quick buzz across this. I'm not looking for a fight, nor am I looking to pull spice. Although you can get a ton. The issue here is... Oh man, I am burning through fuel like an idiot sitting here and talking. The issue with getting spice out in the deep desert is you can't allow yourself to get tunnel vision on the ground. You shoot, hit your compactor and you're like, oh, cool, we could get it. And you watch it like we do in the Hagga Basin, and you're watching the worm sign and stuff. Those aren't the dangers. Those are easy to deal with. We've done that in Hagga. What's not easy to deal with is the unpredictability of another player who will come flying out of the air, see you down there compacting, and be like, oh, I'm going to kill this guy. So let's see if we can buzz this. See if there's anybody down there. Like the entire time this spice bloom is going off, it's just a signal flare. And when you're down here, when it's active like this, I'll show you as we fly through it. It is very difficult to see. And if you're looking out for somebody trying to come in and kill you, being in a smoke cloud sucks. Like I said, eventually that will go away. But, not yet. Let's keep our speed up. We're going to do a close buzz on the ground. It does not look like anyone is here. And we've got a small spice field that blew up right beside this. So that's interesting. What I'm doing is I am looking for somebody. There could be anybody hiding in these little crevices. They've seen me fly through. I'm kind of looking for them. We get down here close. There's no one here. Would really like it if that would go away. Like I said, that's just a signal flare for everybody on the map to come over here and get it. One thing about this is, like we said, the larger spice fields are for the larger groups and the guilds that have banded together. And, that kind of makes sense. The thing about it, though, is if the large fields aren't blooming and there's no spice there, it's this is alluring. If there's tons of spice on the big spice fields that they can take to carryalls and their crawlers, this isn't worth it for them. They're not going to get enough and not going to get a lot. But if there's nothing else happening, why not, you know? It seems safe. Is it? Now, another thing that I would advise you to, you can't see it because my face is hiding it, but there is a deep desert chat. And you can watch that. If you see people arguing and fighting and somebody saying, well, thanks for the rockets. That's really cool. And blah, blah, blah. And, angry people talking nasty towards each other. That can kind of tell you what the temperature of the room is. I saw some people talking. Okay, so here now off in the distance, we're seeing a small field that just blew up, and that's actually in the PvE zone. All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We are going to go over here, we'll put this in, and yeah, we're good. We're going to refuel till that one goes away. And we're going to refuel again. And then we're going to head down there. We're going to actually pull some from the spice, and then we'll take that small field that we just saw off in the distance. We just mark it straight south. We should come across it. Let's take a look again just to make sure. I don't see anybody, but that doesn't mean there isn't anybody here. All right, let's do it. The deep desert is less likely to get yourself a worm sign. Okay. All right, so we're just going to get real close. And we're going to kind of go crazy. And when we do that, we are checking the sky, folks. We do not care about the stuff on the ground. We are just looking at the sky. We are listening for thopter wings or the sound of somebody doing something. And we are staying right next to her. We do not drift away. I have been jumped on these kind of fields. All right, I got a few, and now we're going. We don't transition it on the ground, right? We get in the air. In the air, we're safe. This gives us a chance to look around, make sure no one's coming. That's good. We'll go here real quick, and we'll pull that. So we've already got 500 off a single one. Is this dissipating finally? No, of course not. All right, what do we see? So right now, I'm seeing some names that I recognize. People that would be friendly with me if I told them, hey, I'm out here doing this. Don't. Oh, look. I think this is going to dissipate soon. Or I just got close enough to make it go away. Oh, we don't want to do that. Get back up in the air. But yeah, there's a lot of people in the chat. Some of them that, would not attack me. But the issue here is they probably don't know that this is me. This game is terrible if you're not in a party. All right, let's keep our eyes out. Now, if we see somebody, we're not going to stick around to see if they're friendly. If we see somebody, we're just going. And you'll notice, like I said, there really isn't a whole lot of worm sign as we're jittering and jumping and being silly. No, we're going to come onto this side. Boy, I don't like doing this at all. Good. That's good enough for me for right now. Back up in the air where we are safe. There are some issues with the rendering of bad guys. Like, for instance, they don't come into view even remotely close enough. They're on you and within weapons range by the time that's happened. Okay, so here, now that cloud, the bursting cloud, has disappeared. So anybody who's just coming around, just hopped in or just started flying, they have no idea we're here or that this is here. The medium fields I don't think are as predictable. So you don't fly around checking the medium spice blows. You just fly around and see what you can see. So we're going to look again. Water's good. Everything else is good. Another thing that you need to know is, obviously, if you have shields on, that does bad things. Worms get called by shields. If somebody attacks you, put your shields on immediately. That is the first thing you're doing. We're going to take a look around real quick again. But that would be the first thing that you're going to do, is you're going to put your shield on. And that way, if they shoot rockets, it'll only take 2 rockets to kill an unshielded opponent. But it'll take about 10 to do it if you're shielded. So this literally is just a game of shoot the ground because you have to, and then you look around. And doing this, I thought I heard something. Doing this, I've actually caught people coming in to try to attack, and I've gotten away clean. This will be enough right here. Nope. Come on. And you'll notice no worm. We got a sandstorm coming in. The lady didn't warn us about it. How are we doing, by the way, on this? We're almost full. And it ain't pretty, but you know what? I mean, doesn't have to be. This is horrible. Do not get stuck in the wings. Sandstorm is kind of helpful because that will make people flee, but unfortunately they might be fleeing directly towards us, you know? Make sure you don't let your own Thopter blind you. Like right now I can't see anything over there. So that's one of the reasons why I'm constantly bouncing out. Up and around. Even with, you know, good discipline, somebody could still sneak up on you. I am way too far away from the Thopter right now. Come on. Thank you. We're going to come up here and just hit the F button to transfer it, even though we lost a fuel cell. And let's see what we're at. I want to get up in the air. Not feeling it. Not going to take much for us to fill up. Now we're sliding. Want to be aware of that. Haven't seen anything in the Deep Desert chat in quite a while, which is bad. If they're yelling at each other, that means they're probably fighting each other, which means they're nowhere near me. Alright, we're going to go around this side. I don't like being, like I said, that far away. So we're going to jump up and move her just a little bit. Seems very quiet. Alright, storage is full. So we took the center because that's the most efficient spot. As you can see, we got 200 here, and we've got pretty much as we got in that first hour of flying around Hagga Basin, we just got right now. That's the allure of the deep desert. However, you saw that was a completely different experience, and you know, I'm handling it well, but it's an experience. You know? Somebody could come and kill me, and then all that spice I just took is gone, and all my equipment, all my gear, everything else, it's all gone. So high risk, high reward. But now what we're going to do is get the max speed we can. I don't run thrusters because I have storage on this scout. And we are cruising dead south. Now we did see that small bloom there. As long as we maintain speed, we'll be okay. I've got about 100 volume that I can put in. So we can get a bit. If we can find that small bloom that we saw and nobody else is taking it, we'll stop, get everything else, and then back to Hagga we go. Now, if you, like I said, if you prefer to not risk your gear, your equipment, you can come out here. Like I've seen people come out here with nothing but a pair of boots on. That way, if they die, they didn't lose anything. You don't really need, if you're not going to fight people, you don't need to carry a whole bunch of guns. Just bring, you know, 1 or 2 that you might use. Is that it over there? Well, that is definitely spice. Okay, so here we are. We are now crossing over into the PvE area. And this was the bloom that we saw way back there. The issue with this one is, boy, is that ever a nasty position. And we're only a few seconds into this zone. I don't know how this works. If I am, boom, fully in the PvE zone, does this mean I cannot be damaged? Because somebody who is just coming across, they will be in the PvP zone for that timer. Can they hurt me? Because they're technically PvP, but I'm not. I don't know what the cutoff is and how that works. I should probably get somebody, I got friends, to either tell me because they already know, or maybe they could test it with me. So I'm not going to be completely callous here. I'm not going to lie, that scared me a little bit because that's my thopter. But, and especially being up on the hill like that, I am really broadcasting my position to the keen of sight. We need to start working our way back to her. So I can't guarantee you that I'm safe. I'm safe from worms, quote unquote. I say that because they don't spawn as often in the deep desert, but they do spawn. And I don't know if I'm safe from the wrath of other players. But we are playing it a little cavalier. This might do it, or it's going to get us really close. Did not get us as close as I thought it was going to be, so we're going to pull some more. If I can fly out of here with a ship full and my backpack full, call it a win, right? Still kind of looking, just in case things get silly. Not a good feeling, is it? And you'll see anywhere I go on this standard scout. Ooh, you're breaching close, big boy. But it's too late. That's the same people. They spend a lot of money. Because you have to get staking units to get down there just for that. You know what? Just put your base on the ground, man. All right, what do we got? We have 25 plus 8, so we've got 33. So we got about 4,000. Better than what we got when we were in Hagga, but it was scary and dangerous. But now we are completely full. Let's go ahead, drink a couple shots from the still suit. We feel sated and happy. And there we go. So there's our 2-hour mark, folks. I am super excited. We got quite a bit done. We paid our taxes. And then we went around and took care of our spice addiction. The only thing we didn't do is kill some Maas Kharet, but you know what? I'll go do that in short order. Just go get some agave seeds, more of the diamondine dust and carbide scraps. That always comes in handy for myself and for the guild. So, there you have it. But we're going to head back. You've seen me fly before, and you've probably done it yourself. So, there you go. But thanks for watching. Hope this was educational. We went over all the different ways to get some spice. The only things that we did skip was like, you can do crash ships. They usually have a little bit of spice, maybe some melange. I don't think so. But you can do the crash ships either in Hagga or out here. They do have not only some spice in them, but they do have some good items like irradiated slags and other components, things that will help in either the Lance Rat or in general gameplay. But probably done shifts before. It's very much the same as doing a spice bloom. You just land, grab your stuff, but if you don't feel comfortable, go. Get out. But anyway, so we're going to call it a night. I'm actually going to go try to get something to eat. I'm a little hungry. I did, I think, pretty well without yawning. So hopefully my content's getting a little more excited. That's a cute little base you got down there, buddy. Sorry, that just... It's cute. Anyway. All right, well, I'm going to call it. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you all again on Saturday. If you have any comments or questions, don't hesitate to drop them here. Would like a like or subscribe would also be greatly appreciated. Helps the channel, helps me do what I'm doing. Look, there's somebody. Hi, friend. But yeah, there you go, folks. Anyway, I'm calling it a night, and as always, I will see you out there. Take care.